Welcome to Making Mindfulness Fun, and here's how to deal with your perfectionist partner. Welcome to Making Mindfulness Fun. I'm Isabelle, the co-founder of Making Mindfulness Fun, and I'm a mindfulness and Enneagram coach. I help you understand who you are so that you can have a healthier relationship with your friends, your family, your partner, your kids, and yourself using personality typing and mindfulness. In this video, I'm telling you and teaching you how to deal with your perfectionist partner. So if you've been struggling with your partner who's a bit of a perfectionist, watch on. So I'm going to teach you guys about a really important tool that's going to make dealing with your perfectionist partner really easy. And I discovered this tool 3 years ago, and it's made dealing with, I'm a bit of a perfectionist myself at times. I find it that it reduces my stress. And so when I discovered this tool, it helped other people and myself so much deal with perfectionism. And this tool is called the Enneagram. Now listen on, because the Enneagram is going to help you deal with your perfectionist partner for these reasons. The Enneagram is a personality typing system consisting of 9 types. And now when I say personality typing, you might think of some girl who says like, oh, I'm a zodiac, sun sign, Aries, moon, Taurus. I'm sorry, I'm such a Virgo. But that's not what the Enneagram is at all. It's not about how you see yourself and what makes you so cool. While there are definitely, as your personality type, while you definitely have strengths, the core of the Enneagram helps us have healthy relationships with others, and that's why I believe in it so much, and this is why it's going to help you deal with your partner, because certain Enneagram types, like I said, there are 9 types. There are certain types that are going to have perfectionism issues, and that is why you have a perfectionist partner. They are probably one of these 4 types that I'm about to tell you, and now by knowing them, by knowing their personality type, I can tell you how to deal with them, how to work with them, and how to find better harmony in a relationship with them. So the 4 types of the Enneagram types that could be perfectionists are Enneagram type 1s, Enneagram type 3s, Enneagram type 8s, and Enneagram type 9s. So remember those 4 numbers. And if you're unfamiliar with the Enneagram, we have other videos on our channel about the Enneagram so that you can understand what each type is. So remember those 4, type 1, type 3, type 9, type 8, type 9. I jumped to the conclusions there. Type 1, 3, 8, 9. Those are the 4 types that tend to be perfectionists, but it is for different reasons. And knowing which type your partner is going to make a big difference in how you can help them work through perfectionism. So if you're dealing with a perfectionist partner, someone who is nitpicky, wants the shoes to all be lined up at the door, wants the house to always be organized, hates any mess, wants the counters clean, or if they're perfectionists in work and they want you to say certain things and be more meticulous, however their perfectionist shows up, it's going to be important because it'll help you discover their Enneagram type. So for an example though, the type 1, let's break down the type 1 first, of if you have a perfectionist type 1 partner, and this is how to deal with them if they're a type 1, how to work and make healthier relationships with them as a type 1. The type 1 is called actually the perfectionist. So chances are, if you're dealing with a perfectionist partner, they are a type Enneagram 1. So look at my videos on the Enneagram 1 to find out more, but the Enneagram type 1 is the perfectionist. They're known for their organized and moral nature. These people are very neat. They have files, they have labels for everything. Their house is going to be pristine. It's going to be so clean and so organized. They hate mess, and they are definitely have, like I said, moral about it. So they're going to be very bothered when you are messy. So if you're not this type, or if you're the perfectionist partner, you hate it when things aren't in the right order. You hate when people you'll tell them how you want something organized, like put the shoes at the door, and they don't do it. That's going to drive you crazy. So if this sounds like it could be your partner, chances are your partner is a type 1. So what do we do if we have a perfectionist partner who is a Enneagram type 1? The answer is simple. By knowing they're the Enneagram type 1, the interesting thing about the Enneagram is that it tells you their core desire and their core fear. So the reason your perfectionist partner is such a perfectionist is that they have a core belief that if I'm not perfect, I am not valuable. And so that's the important thing to remember when dealing with perfectionist partners, is that their perfectionism, no matter what Enneagram type they are, is coming from the belief that they are not enough. So they feel that they have to be perfect in order for things to be enough, in order for them to be loved. But it is also part of their nature. So for the half of it, you have to start accepting a little more. If you have a type 1 partner, nurture and accept accept that organized nature a little bit. You know that it's their core and that they really need it to be this way. Don't get annoyed by it. It is just part of them, and see where you can draw boundaries. This is where the other half of it comes in. Once you start accepting that organized nature a little more, then it's time for them to step into their growth, and we need to work to help them get into their growth, because the natural nature of the type 1 is to be organized, orderly, and take on all of the responsibility for perfection. But their growth is to release that control and have more fun. This is what, it can be uncomfortable for them to do this, but it's so important for them to do so. So if you have a perfectionist partner who you think is an Enneagram 1, help them get into their growth and help them find more ways to be spontaneous, have fun, let loose. So whether that's through going to dance classes, hanging out with friends, trying new recipes, there's so many ways you can do this, which I have more videos on. If you look up Enneagram 1's Heal This Now, look at that video for more tips. But overall, the type 1 just needs more help relaxing. So it's your job as their partner to ask them, hey, I understand that you want things to be perfect, and I value that. I appreciate it so much because it makes my life more organized. And thank you so much for doing that. I know how much this means to you for your house, your work, to be organized. Now, what can I do to help you feel like you can release that control? Do you need me to organize a little more? How can we get you to have more fun? Maybe they do this fun with you, maybe they don't. But this is how to deal with a type 1 who is a perfectionist partner. Then we have the type 3 as the perfectionist partner, which will be different from the type 1. So if you have a perfectionist partner and what I just described as the type 1 doesn't quite ring true, like, oh my gosh, this is so them, then they might be a type 3. The type 3 is called the achiever, and the achiever in the Enneagram's core desire is to win. So this always shows as more perfectionist in their work and perfectionist with themselves. So if you have a perfectionist partner who's perfectionist in the sense that they're hard on themselves, that they are workaholics, that they find it hard to rest, and they're always thinking that they have to achieve more, and they seem often frustrated or angry with how they achieve, how much they do in a day, that might be the sign that you have a type 3 perfectionist partner, which is known as, like I said, the achiever. The type 1 is called the perfectionist, but the type 3 is called the achiever, and they are perfectionists, not in the necessary labeled sense, but they have a perfectionist nature. So these type 3s, they feel more perfectionist about themselves. They're not necessarily going to get so much annoyed at you for how you have the couch organized or how you put away groceries, but they're going to be more frustrated if you impose upon their ability to achieve. So these are often people who get frustrated when they're in work and they think that I'm just never doing enough. I'm not doing it good enough. This isn't how I want it to be. I'm not marketing perfectly. My Instagram post isn't perfect, or whatever it may be. Whenever it comes to their achievements, whether that's sports or work, they're going to be very perfectionist about it because they want to be the best. And so this can come off to you as like, oh my gosh, why are you being such a perfectionist? You should just let loose. But that can be hard for type 3s because their core belief is that if they are not winning, they're not enough. And so there's two things we have to do for the type 3. If you're in a relationship with a type 3, with an Enneagram type 3, there are two things you really need to do to help them so you guys can have a healthier relationship together. One, like I said for the type 1, accept their nature. This is half of it. Help them know that, hey, you're an Enneagram 3. So look into the Enneagram itself. Start learning about it if you're not into the Enneagram yet. It's going to change your life. It's changed mine so much, and it's helped me have healthier relationships. But the type 3, help them understand that they're a type 3. I have videos on it as well, but help them realize that it is their nature to want achievement, and help yourself realize that that is their nature and accept it for some part. Like, yeah, they're goal-driven, they're ambitious, they're gonna wanna be the best, and they're going to get frustrated when things get in the way of that. That's another thing too, is that if you seem to be dealing with a perfectionist partner and this comes off as them being more focused on work than you, that's a sign that you have a type 3 partner. And so dealing with the type 3, we need to focus on helping them understand their Enneagram and accept that that's part of them. Like, hey, I get telling them, hey, I get that you want to be the best. I know you want to win. You love to be driven. You want to achieve things, but we also need to set some boundaries. So I'm going to nurture you in achieving your goals, but we also need to set some boundaries because as the type 3, Their growth is to step into the nature of the type 6, which is the loyalist, who's loyal, kind, and allows themselves to relax more. So growth for type 3s, you have to ask them, how, after I help you achieve a little, let's set the boundary, and how can I help you relax more and feel like you can trust me more and be more vulnerable? Because I know this is going to be hard for you and that you're so frustrated, and I understand that it's just coming from your own thoughts and like how the external world is piling up on you, but let's work through this. And so this is a way to, if this sounds true that you have a type 3 partner, here, that's how you deal with it. You can't just go, oh, you need to be less perfectionist, because what ends up happening when we tell these perfectionist people that you need to be less perfectionist, it ends up just making them frustrated because they're being perfectionist for a reason. They want to, in the end, everyone wants to feel loved and understood. So helping your type 3 partner, your type 1 partner, either way, help them see that you know that you see why they're being a perfectionist, that you appreciate that they're being perfectionists, that they're being organized, but also help them know that they do not have to be. Create that safe space for them. If those two don't sound like your perfectionist partner yet though, stay tuned right now for the type 8. The type 8 can also seem like a perfectionist. So this, if you don't have a partner that sounds like the type 1 who's organized about their environment and wants everything to be orderly, or the type 3 who's achievement driven and hard on themselves, then you might have a type 8 partner. And it'll probably be easy for you to see if you have a type 8 partner. The type 8 is called the challenger. And what their core desire is to challenge themselves and have intensity. And so they can also come off like perfectionists because they're always pushing to be at the front. They're always going to be pushing to have more intensity. They want to lead. They want to get as much done as possible. These people are very intense. They're blunt. They're honest. They're straight to the point. They don't like wishy-washy emotions. And so if you feel like your partner is someone who tells you something more often than not, a little bluntly, or you try to show them something but they say this is wrong, and that's how you see their perfectionists come out more in their judgment, then that's a sign that they might be a type 8. And it's not that type 8s are bad types or rude people. It's that their nature is to be honest and assertive, because their core belief is that if I'm vulnerable, then I'm gonna get hurt. And so they put on this aura of strength and assertiveness and bluntness and boldness as a protective layer. And so this is partially their nature. They're always gonna be kind of more honest, sometimes blunt people, and they're always going to be searching for more intensity. So they're going to seem go, 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 and that's how they can seem like perfectionists, is that they're always trying to do more. And it's not that they want things to be perfect necessarily in the organized fashion, but they always seem like they want things to be their way, which is a form, in a way, of perfectionism, because they want it to be their perfect way. They'll think if you do something differently than them, they're going to say, maybe that's stupid, you should do it this way. And they can seem blunt for that, like I said, but it's just their nature. So how do we deal with a type 8 partner? Well, first, we have to help them realize that they are a type 8 and accept ourselves that they're a type 8. Know that they're going to always be more assertive and blunt and bold than us, and they're not going to be the one who's probably going to lend us compassion for the most part. They can, but not as much. So that's the first step. And the thing is too, though, their growth is the second part. Like for all types, half of it is accepting who they are, but the other half is growth. And growth is gonna look different based on each Enneagram type. It might sound similar, but the little changes are so different, and it's gonna change how easy your relationship is with your perfectionist partner. So growth for the type 8 is to be more like the type 2, which is to practice compassion and practice being vulnerable and practice caring for themselves and for others. And so this can be really hard for type 8s, because type 8s don't want to step into that vulnerable, compassionate nature. They want to be the leader and strong. But their growth tells them that they need to help and practice more compassion, especially towards their partner. So if you have a type 8 partner, probably the chances are, if they seem to be perfectionists and they're a type 8, it's that you need to start setting a boundary and say, hey, I feel like you need to practice more compassion with me for not being as go-getter and do things your way, but I'm doing my best, and I respect as well and love that you are such a driven, bold person, and I accept that you have this type 8 nature. So finding ways to nurture their growth, but also nurture their core Enneagram type, is so important for dealing with our partners. And finally, the last personality type that could be, last Enneagram type that could be a perfectionist is the Enneagram type 9. Now this is because of the wings, and if you're unfamiliar with the wings, go watch my Enneagram wing series on our channel to fully understand it. But as a quick overview, for those who just want to deal with their perfectionist partner and don't know what the heck this Enneagram thing is, keep listening because I'm going to break it down and make it simple for what you need to know to just deal with your perfectionist partner so you can have healthier, harmonious, happy, loving relationships. The last type that seems like a perfectionist, that could be a perfectionist partner, is a type 9, which is my personality type. I am an Enneagram type 9. And what happens is that we reach into this wing, and this wing, so this so-called wing is our behavior. So sometimes when we type 9s are stressed, we reach to be more perfectionist, especially in our environments. And this can come out like a blowing up temper rather than just always on top of you. So what I mean by that is that they might seem to just be very friendly, easygoing people, just love to do their own thing for the most part when they seem healthy, but out of nowhere they'll just seem to be frustrated and angry and yell at you for how you put a dish away. So if they seem to have that really explosive anger that comes out of nowhere, that's a sign you have a type 9. And the other thing with the type 9 too is the type 9 is called the peacemaker. So these people aren't going to seem aren't as perfectionist overall in life as the type 1, 3, and 8, but they definitely are capable of that perfectionist nature when they are stressed. And so overall, if you have a type 9 in your life, these people are friendly, they're easygoing, they're lighthearted, they seem very joyful, and they just seem to go with the flow. They like to chill and they like to just have a relaxed rainy day sometimes. These people are much more easygoing, but they're capable again of that perfectionist nature. So if that sounds like it could be your partner, they are probably a type 9. And so what I mean by the perfectionist part is that we have to note that when they're reaching into that perfectionist, it's a sign of stress. They just feel like they have to control their environment because it comes back to their core desire. They want peace. As a type 9, the core thing we want is to feel peaceful. So when we're being perfectionist, when your partner's being perfectionist and they're organizing their environment and they're getting mad at you for apparently no reason about how you put away a dish or how you walked in with dirty shoes, it's just because they want to have a more harmonious environment so that they can relax. So there's an inner conflict going on there for us. And so what do we do with this if we have a type 9 perfectionist partner? What you do is that we have to help us realize what's going on because we're probably not even aware of it. Type 9s are very avoidant people of their own inner conflicts. So for your partner, what you need to help them do is notice that they're running from their conflicts. So creating a safe space for them, a harmonious space for them to talk to you about what's going on internally is important. So walking up to them and just being like, hey, we need to talk. I'm not mad at you. I'm not going to yell at you. But I noticed that you're being more perfectionist. Can you tell me what you're feeling right now? Are you feeling frustrated? Are you feeling like I'm not giving you something that you need? Or did you have a problem with your friends or family or someone at work? What's going on? Getting to the root of what that conflict is going to eliminate the perfectionist issue. Now, they're going to have some healthy organization every now and then, but if you're dealing with a perfectionist partner who's crossed the line and they might be a type 9, that's how you have to deal with this perfectionist. It's so different because if they're type 9 versus a type 1, as you can see. So dealing with the type 9, remember, we have to get to the core of that inner conflict and then help them get into their growth, which is the type 3, like I talked about earlier. They have to step into the growth and be more ambitious. Instead of focusing on controlling the environment, they need to find more challenge and intensity and winning for them. They need to find their own wins in life. So asking them, one, addressing the conflict. Hey, what's going on? How can I make you feel more comfortable? How can I make you feel more harmonious? What's the inner conflict going on? And then from there, once you can release that conflict and set healthier boundaries, then we need to start nurturing that person into their growth and say, okay, how can I make you find a win today? What would feel like a win for you? What would make you feel ambitious and driven and like you just achieved a goal? What can I do to help you with that? And then help them set that goal and achieve it. That is a great way to help deal with your perfectionist partner if they're a type 9. So there you have it. That's how to deal with your perfectionist partner in 4 different ways. So make sure you look into the types. 1, known as the perfectionist. The type 3, known as the achiever. The type 8, which is known as the challenger, and the type 9, which is known as the peacemaker. So look those up. I have more videos on my channel about each Enneagram type if you still don't know which your perfectionist partner is, but this should have given you a pretty great overview of which each one is and how to deal with them. If you've been struggling with a perfectionist partner and you just don't know what to do about it, I hope this video helped you, because knowing the Enneagram really is going to change your life. And not only will it help you understand your partner, but when you find out your own Enneagram type, it's going to change how you see yourself, and it's going to make your relationships so much easier once you understand who you are. Because I believe that understanding who we are is the secret to living a happier, healthier life and having more harmonious relationships that we thrive in. So leave a comment below. Let me know what type you think your perfectionist partner is, and let me know if I missed anything else or any other things you're struggling with your perfectionist partner. I'd be glad to answer your questions below. And if you want to find out more about what your type and what your partner's Enneagram type is, please check out the link below for my free Enneagram cheat sheets, where I break down what each Enneagram type is in a one-page cheat sheet. It makes finding out your type so easy. There are quizzes online that you can do to find out your Enneagram type, but they end up always being faulty because we can't test ourselves correctly. So if you want to actually find out your Enneagram type, hit the link below and get those free Enneagram cheat sheets. You're gonna love them, and on it, I include self-care for each Enneagram. So if you forget what I said in this video, it's on the cheat sheet. Just get the cheat sheet. It's free with the link in the description below. So download that, all right? And if you don't want to download it, make sure you check out other videos on the channel. Please make sure you leave that comment below and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay tuned for further videos we publish. And I hope you have a wonderful day.